Hey there, I'm Joe Carter. If you've ever popped the hood and thought, where do I even start? You're in good company. Around here, we take the mystery out of car repair, one fix at a time. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to sharpen your skills, there's something here for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you're into learning without the headaches. All right, that's enough from me. Let's get into it.
Vehicles resellers are not squeamish about buying drowned auto junk for subsequent restoration and sale for greater profit. In the cabin and under the hood you can smell the characteristic odor of tina. The door and seat trim shows smudges and even traces of mold. Some metal parts that are least likely to be exposed to moisture show signs of rust. Indirect sign, the electrics are malfunctioning. The car owner, caught in the purchase of auto junk of this category, will regularly spend money on the restoration of the vehicle. Constructors also a very interesting category of auto junk. Constructor is a vehicle assembled from sawn body parts from two or more vehicles. As a rule, these are cars that have been involved in road accidents, as a result of which they were smashed. Currently, there is no law that prohibits bringing in a sawed-off car to restore an officially registered car. Thus, it is possible to rebuild practically the entire body without affecting the main load-bearing elements. In addition, the body number must remain unchanged. Overbidding or replacing numbers is penalized by the law of the Russian Federation. How not to buy a constructor? Signs that the car belongs to this category of auto junk. If the difference in colors is not conspicuous, it will almost certainly be discernible on closer inspection. Traces of welds in places that do not suggest their presence. The fastening elements show signs of having been removed. Scuffing, broken edges. The documents contain other data, color, date of production and possible discrepancy of body and engine numbers. The owner who bought such a junk car will face problems with registration. Shifter in this category of auto junk. 4 cars involved in a traffic accident with a rollover on the roof. As a matter of fact, from this formed and the characteristic name, shifters. Such a vehicle is already considered illiquid and cannot be restored. However, taking into account the thirst for profit of resellers, they undertake to remake auto junk in their workshops. From the economic point of view, full restoration of the shifter is not profitable. Here it will be necessary to cut off the roof completely and replace everything, including support struts, and this without affecting other breakdowns. How not to fall for junk cars? Upon inspection, you may see signs of unscrewed fasteners, torn edges and scuffs, traces indicating that the roof has been replaced or repaired, a welding seam, irregularities on the ceiling inside or on the roof outside, different dates of manufacture on the windows. The vehicle will be driven sideways while driving. A slope to one side will lead to uneven wear of the car tires. With these disadvantages can still be somehow tolerated, but how will the power structure behave if the driver will be destined to get into a second accident with a rollover? Will the roof withstand? No one knows. Reconstructed bashing. What distinguishes this category of auto junk from the constructors and shifters is the nature of the damage and the reason for it. These are cars with dents and other types of damage on the body. This is the most profitable option for resellers. They purchase broken auto junk and, slightly adjusting, plastering and painting the problem areas. Such a car can be considered suitable for sale. Minimal investments, maximum profit in case of successful sale. How not to buy a broken car? Inspect the mating parts of the body, hood, fender, bumper for surface coloring. The body may have rough seams that differ from the factory seams. The seams are covered with soft sealant that has not had time to gain sufficient hardness. The fastening elements show signs of removal. Uneven gaps are visible between the parts to be joined. The interior trim is made of different materials or the trim is made anew. The value of the car is very low for the car being sold. There may be changes in fuel consumption, braking distance and behavior during maneuvers. As a rule, when restoring such junk, no attention is paid to the mechanism of the car. In time it will all come out and there will be expenses for repair. The main danger of this category, resellers do not try to replace the airbag. In the case of a repeat accident, there is a risk of being in a very delicate situation with a risk to life. Is it possible to return auto junk to the seller when buying a vehicle from a private individual? You can no longer count on a refund. Firstly, it will be impossible to prove the involvement of an individual in the sale of an illiquid car. Secondly, there is no law that can force the seller to return the money you spent. Can you return if the vehicle was purchased from a legal entity in a car dealership? Here you should be guided by the federal law of the Russian Federation on the protection of consumer rights. If during the inspection of the goods any defects were found that do not correspond to the description, the buyer has the right to demand replacement with a car of the same brand, to demand replacement with a car of another brand with recalculation of the original cost, to demand a reduction in the cost of the purchased goods, to demand elimination of defects or full reimbursement of expenses. Reject the purchased junk and demand a refund. In case of refusal, the car owner has the right to order an independent examination and defend his rights in court. In conclusion, in the article all possible variants of auto junk, their visible signs and risks to which the motorist is exposed when buying illiquid transport. The situation with the possible return of the car to the legal entity, if the buyer was found defects not specified in the contract of sale is analyzed in detail. Consequently, the analysis of the presented material will help an inexperienced car owner to understand how not to buy auto junk for personal use. Did you happen to become a victim of buying auto junk? How did you get out of the situation? What is a junk car? Car in the water, mold in the car, a car in pieces, car on the roof. In conclusion, understanding the complexities surrounding junk cars is crucial for any potential buyer. Junk cars are typically defined as vehicles that are no longer roadworthy, often falling into categories such as those with severe damage, high mileage, or significant mechanical issues. The risks associated with purchasing these vehicles can be substantial, including unexpected repair costs, safety hazards, and potential legal complications. While some buyers may consider returning an illiquid car to a dealership, this option is not always guaranteed and can vary widely based on the dealership's policies. Ultimately, thorough research and careful consideration are essential to avoid the pitfalls of buying a junk car and to ensure a safe and reliable vehicle investment.